Well, we have seen them all over University of Tennessee's campus, but we could start to see them in other parts of the city. We're talking about those little robots, those personal delivery devices. They're also known as PDDs.
WATE 6 on your side's Kristen Gallant spoke to city leaders about their concerns and aspirations for these autonomous robots and how they plan to discuss regulations on them at tonight's city council meeting.
Personal delivery devices, or what I like to call the food robots that you see on UT's campus, are starting to pop up all over the country, including in big cities like Chicago. But the city of Knoxville wants to make sure that we have the proper guidelines in place before we could see them in other areas in Knoxville.
We're just really wanting to be proactive in this moratorium, and we know that this is technology that, eventually would come here if we didn't have any sort of regulation in place. So we just want to be proactive and get ahead of it.
The city of Knoxville will be introducing an emergency ordinance for city council to vote on regarding personal delivery devices.
Personal delivery devices are basically these kind of mini refrigerator-sized robots that are on wheels. They're typically electric and also autonomous.
Carter Hall, the director of strategic policy and programs with the city of Knoxville, says they've seen how successful PDDs can be on places like UT's campus. But they're afraid that without the proper guidelines in place, these PDDs might start popping up around other parts of the city and cause problems.
Obviously, safety is number one. We want to make sure that these things are on the sidewalk, that they're not impeding pedestrians or making it an unsafe environment for pedestrians. And then obviously, if they ever have to cross roads or things like that, that we've thought through the traffic engineering behind that and that we're not going to make our roads any less safe.
Councilman Tommy Smith says, quote, any new emerging technology requires a thoughtful strategy. UT's use of PDDs on campus likely provides enough data to assess what has worked well and what has not. I agree with the mayor's decision to develop a recommendation before allowing them citywide. If the moratorium passes, then the city will have 6 months to look at what policies they may want to put in place. In Knoxville, Kristen Gallant, WATE 6 on your side.
Now, we also heard from City Councilman Charles Thomas. He told us before this meeting that he also will be supporting the city's request for a 6-month moratorium while the study is done.
Now, this moratorium would not affect operations of the robots on UT's campus. Want to point that out. That's a separate thing.